Rugby. That's the NFL of American rugby. Two franchises that are basically brand new. Toronto and New York dropped out, ran out of money. Sorry players, sorry fans, they folded. Just 3 months ago, USA Rugby, Team USA, USA Eagles, they lost to Romania. They lost to Georgia, the country. They can't even beat Canada. They didn't qualify for the World Cup. The offices of USA Rugby are literally bankrupt. What is my point? They're not coming to save us. They're not going to help us. And we're not just sitting here hoping that things change. Thanks to the collaboration of someone who traveled the furthest to be here today, we have co-founded Urban Rugby America. Now, don't you dare direct an investment there. It doesn't even have a penny in the bank account yet. We needed an MICR, but we also needed to create a national landscape where we can create some hope for the young people that are marginalized and vulnerable in this country, and they can use rugby as a tool for upward mobility and follow the model of MICR, because people want to do it, but they don't know how. And so raise your hand, Kevin Battle. Give Kevin Battle, the president of Urban Rugby America, a round of applause. He came here from Santa Barbara this morning. He was up at 3:45 a.m., and he's up at 6 a.m. going back to Nashville so he can fly back. I mean, he's traveling through time. All right. And there he is refereeing in Memphis in 2022 at the inaugural Urban Rugby Championship, where we brought all the inner city rugby programs around the country to Memphis for the inaugural tournament. Man, my mouth's getting dry. All right. So, elementary school, this is where we start. Engage students with our amazing alumni coaches. We have great school partnerships. Ask any principal of any of our schools. You go, is this program cool? Sometimes it's the best thing going on at the school. The kids love rugby. They don't think it's strange anymore either. They're like, my cousin, my brother played. We've had 3,000 kids come through this program since 2012. And they start to get exposed to our model of social emotional learning and trauma-informed coaching. Really cute, really cute. The kids are playing, right? No, crucial. Wrong C word. Not cute, but crucial. Crucial because this sets them up for success in the classroom, out of the classroom, as a leader, as a communicator, as someone you might want to be, friends with. Then they go to middle school. Where are we at? Come on. There we go. All right. And then they start playing tackle rugby. You should see these kids, when they come off that tackle rugby, they think they went to war in middle school. It's amazing. It's amazing. I keep telling you to come out, but you never come. And we start doing some academic accountability, so that they think they love it in elementary school, pick up the ball, have fun, score a try, make a tackle. But nope, you gotta get that grade up, right? We start to institute some of that accountability, incentives. So it starts to mean something. And they get to high school, and you see we hire 16, 17, and 18-year-olds, and we pay them a good wage to coach middle school teams. Wide web of support. Then we start that transportation services. By the way, our nutrition services are awesome too. We know we can't have kids hungry playing this game, physically demanding game. So they go to high school. That's what happened. We don't mean to create state champions, although our girls have won 4 of them, as Faith Walker confidently told you. We don't mean to send kids to Division I programs. This is a byproduct of good work. This is a byproduct of relational, relentless, and responsive services. These things happen. Where are we going? We already showed that. There we go. Take a second to take that in. This is what's possible. This is what's possible when we get a young student to and through MICR alumni services. And this past week, I'm almost done, I promise. And after me, we got a big surprise tonight. So just buckle in. We're almost done though. This week I was sitting in a coach end of season check-in. We go over data. We actually look into the social emotional. We go over every single student, what their survey response said, what their physical fitness growth was measured at, what their teachers say, what their parents say about the impact of this program. We study it all. And we do it with the coaches who lead those programs. And just this past week, I was in one of those sessions, and Ethan Scott is in the room. He's one of our great coaches. And he said, I don't know if I can get through some of this, but we said, reflecting on next year, how are you feeling? He goes, I'm excited about their lives. He's not just showing up. It's not commercial. It's not cookie cutter. He said, I'm excited about their lives, and I'm excited about who they are. And I promise you, he meant that with his heart. And that's all the MICR coaches. That's all of us at this organization. We are literally excited and ignited and inspired. And it's so deeply invested in the lives of our young people. And some of them just need someone to be excited about their lives. Let's talk about one of them. At age 26, Bernice Diaz was rationing 1 gallon of water, hadn't had food in a couple days, and was freezing in the desert of northern Mexico. Eventually crossed the border, and she arrived in Arizona, made her way to Memphis, and at age 27, she had Gabriel Diaz. And this week I interviewed Gabe and his mom, who doesn't speak English, so Gabe was the translator. And I asked them if she was okay about me telling her story here in front of 150 people. And Gabe was speaking Spanish. He's saying, Mom, is it okay that this happens? And I go, Gabe, tell her I'm not trying to expose her. Tell her I'm trying to tell the story of inspiration, strength, and resilience that she has. And she says in Spanish back to him, I'm okay with it because it's true. I'm okay with it because it's true. And I asked Gabe, do you want to be here? You want to come in the room? I said, and he was like, yeah, I'd be interested. And I'm like, just be aware. There might be about 150, 160, let's just say suburban people coming up to you after saying how impressed they are. He goes, you know what, Coach? You just get back to me afterwards. But Gabe, he also told me he's so young, he hasn't really reflected on his mom's journey, and she was freezing in that desert by herself. By the way, when she made that decision, she never saw her family again. She never saw her parents again. So determined for a new life, she gets to Memphis, has Gabe, and we didn't get Gabe in elementary school. We didn't get Gabe in middle school, but I'm going to show you what happened with Gabe in a second. And imagine if we got him in elementary school. Imagine if we got half of these alumni that you saw tonight in elementary school. Invest in our pathways, my friends. And so Gabe told Gabe's mom she cleans buildings under the table, And Gabe says, I said, Gabe, what does your mom think? You've been to California, you've been to Cal Berkeley at their rugby camp. You won 3rd place in the state championship. You've traveled all over. You're the captain of your team. You're like Mr. MICR. He really is. Anyone in the program knows Gabe is like the man right now in the program. And I said, what does she think about all this? And he goes, I had to convince her to play. I had to convince her to let me play. She was like, that's dangerous. Peligroso, right? Who's speaking Spanish? So she didn't want him to play. He had to convince her. He was at home taking online classes his 9th grade year, pandemic, no school. 9th grade, shut down, lost it. And then 10th grade, he finally convinced Mom, let me play. He came out. Now, she goes into her colleagues and says, this is my son, Gabe. Look at him. Look at him in this state. Look at him in that state. He's traveled all over the country. And he's being offered presidential. I'm not going to tell you his ACT score, but it's one of the highest in his school. He has a 4.2 GPA. He is getting recruited around the country by some of the most elite rugby institutions that exist. And his mom said, Gabe, if you go to Massachusetts, the AIC, American International College, which has rugby scholarships, that's where my dad went, by the way. She said, how are you going to get to Massachusetts? This family doesn't have a lot of, how are you going to get there? He goes, MICR is going to help me. And that's true. Part of our alumni support programming is that alums who live at Brown University and need a way to back to Memphis to deal with something, we help them out. We get 1 flight per year so that they don't feel displaced and that these big time college opportunities are not inaccessible. And so that Miss Bernice Diaz knows that her son will be taken care of and he can come home for Christmas. And Gabe also said, I was like, Gabe, I'm so proud. I always tell him, I'm like, Gabe, so proud of you, man. You're such a stud. Can you believe some of the things you've achieved, that you've accomplished? And there you go, some of the highlights for Gabe. And he's like, I'll just read it to you real quick, because it's hard to talk about myself sometimes. I don't think I'm good enough, that I haven't accomplished a lot. And I talk to people like you who remind me of the things I've done. And he's like, I just compare myself to the people around me. And I don't want to celebrate my achievements. He's got imposter syndrome. Y'all ever heard of imposter syndrome? He doesn't think he deserves it. Can we go back to that picture of him winning the medal? He was choking up with me. I was on the phone with him for 3 hours. This is just 2 nights ago. And he was like, when I won that 3rd place, it's 3rd place. It's not even 1st place. And he starts choking up. He's like, that medal meant something to me. He's like, that medal meant something to me. And he couldn't quite exactly say what, but it was more than just a medal is what he said. And so I'll just finish this up. He said, my priority was to play college rugby. Now I'm more focused on the education of college.